I had also met my spiritual guru a few years earlier, and I'd had a number of discussions with him on the purpose of life. And one of the things he said to me was that when you work for yourself, for your benefit in a corporate job, which is all about what's in it for me, then you're working for your selfish motive. But when you work for others, then the whole world works behind you. I got involved with an NGO development alternatives in the first year or so, which was 1988 to 89. And then I got picked up by Kapat to become the marketing advisor to the Ministry of Rural Development for another 2 years. So I was working as an individual because my whole purpose was to try and help the poor, and whatever platform I could get to reach to the poor. Started these Gram Shree Melas, and that's when I visited the length and breadth of this country, because these Melas were organized all over the country. And I visited hundreds and hundreds of villages. And the kind of poverty I saw, because not only have I lived all my life in Delhi, but I dare say I come from a very well-to-do background, family background in terms of wealth. So that poverty really moved me. And that was the turning point where I felt that I had to do something to improve the lot of the poor. And also I realized that one of the critical problems that the poor had was in terms of marketing their produce, because every poor is marketing something or the other. So whether it is some agricultural produce, handicrafts, handloom, or whatever. And that was the only expertise I had acquired in the corporate sector over 20 years, which was marketing. The task of rural transformation is too huge, and the government alone cannot do it. And the private sector has the professional knowledge, so they can bring certain skills to the table. And that's when I organized the first roundtable on public-private partnership. It was not then called public-private partnership, but I coined the heading, or the title of that workshop was The Role of Private Sector in Rural Development. When I got this first project from the World Bank, I didn't know where to get these people from. And it was people like Ilaben and others who helped me, and they said, Pradeep, अच्छा तुम्हारे को documentation के लिए कोई चाहिए, I know somebody, I will send you the person. So that's how I created the first team of 5 or 6 people. Right? Thereafter also I had no plans to expand. Then one day Kirti walked in 1995 and said that he wanted to work with me. So I said, I have no work to give you because I have no projects beyond this one project. He said, no, but even if you can't pay me very much, I want to come and work. So most of the people have come through referrals and on their own. I always believed that to succeed in life, you don't need to go to Harvard or to any IIM. The most important thing that you need to succeed is common sense. Because even the most complex rocket science, if you break it down into small components, then each component is only common sense. So I took on this challenge that if I'm going to create this team and show to the world that if you work for a higher purpose and if you have passion, then you can achieve as much as anybody or any organization which hires people from the best institute.
Here the larger effort is to talk about the strengths, and weaknesses are slowly cultivated to change. So they are like, you overcome them slowly, one step by step, and therefore the confidence keeps growing every time. So I find that this aspect of an organization is probably everybody feels it, and therefore the emotional bonding happens better. and the motivational element goes stronger.
और मुझे जो फ़र्क जो महसूस हुआ कि जब मैं पहले कोई काम कर रहा था तो मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा स्टीरियोटाइप रूप से काम करना पड़ रहा था. इट इज़ अ वेरी डायरेक्टिव मेथड था कि आप ये ABC करिए. यहाँ पर मुझे एक बहुत अच्छी बात जो लगी कि मुझे एक स्वतंत्रता मिली, आज़ादी मिली किसी चीज़ को अपने ढंग से करने की.
Best part about working at MART is, I mean, look back at the past 13 months I've worked here, and never has been a day when I've worked on the same thing. I did the same thing. I mean, every project that you work on gets you something different. I mean, you learn something new every day. I had a crush on Sir's thoughts, and now I'm in deep love with them.
Every day your endeavor is to improve yourself. Every day every day is a new day where you learn something new, you imbibe the new concept, you imbibe new things, and then you reproduce similar things next day. So every day is new in the MART day. Every day is a learning process here.
When I joined, I think I came from a very small town and with my humble background, but the culture was such. For every aspect, there's somebody you can look up to for help, you can look up to for guidance. So for first 3 to 4 years, I think that became very critical for me to get into work, understand, learn, go to ground, interact with people, come back. Somebody is to ratify, somebody is to really mentor you through the process. That becomes such like we got addicted perhaps to this kind of a culture. From the beginning, I think the focus around working for the poor, doing something which is meaningful while you are working something, the freedom which was offered during those early days of work which generally people don't get, all those elements were instrumental in carrying forward this whole journey from like 95 onwards.
I think there are a lot of things people bargain for. There are a lot of things people think, but at least I think I got an opportunity to do what I felt, what I got inspired from, somebody who gave me an inspiration, somebody who gave me a purpose, and that purpose I think I could take it forward. I definitely don't have any regrets, and I definitely want to pursue my purpose within this organization.
We only work in areas where it is innovative. Building up innovative distribution models, building up innovative behavior change communication models.
The Aditya Birla Group approached us to say that you have good understanding of the rural sector and we want to sell cement in the rural sector. So if you do a research for us, we think that you will bring in deep insights which other research agencies may not be able to do. I was quite reluctant because I just felt that 12, 13 years till the year 2000, from 1988 to 2000, we had not really done any corporate work. But in the meanwhile, because we had done a number of these public-private partnership workshops and we had a number of interactions with the corporate sector, I realized that maybe I was being unnecessarily adamant. And if the role of rural transformation is not only with the government, but the private sector also must get involved, then I think working with the private sector is also is a need, is nothing very wrong. Oh, the first textbook came out in 2005. I visited Bangladesh in 2007. There was a workshop on bottom of the pyramid and I was the chief guest. And that's where the local partner, Catalyst, they had arranged a meeting with all the professors and the directors of these top institutes. And the idea was sold in no time, and they said, we'd be delighted if you can come and coach our faculty, and which was done. And subsequently, almost all of them are running a course on rural marketing now in their universities. It goes back to the philosophy of my guru when he explained to me that in spirituality we are essentially all one. We look at ourselves as separate individuals, but if we look at divinity, ultimately we are all a part of that divinity. So that's a philosophy that I have always kept with me, and therefore I have never looked at anybody as competition. To explain to you, can my right hand feel that my left hand is competing with it? We feel it is competing so long as we feel that these are two different bodies or two different people. But the fact is that my right hand and my left hand are part of my body. So the same way, you, me, everybody in this room is really all one. So where is the competition? And this open philosophy that we've had of sharing knowledge and not competing with anybody but cooperating with everybody, I think has helped us immensely. We then took a conscious decision that let us at least start spreading our knowledge. So then Kirti took the initiative and he sent out mails to a number of professors from the best universities across the globe. And lo and behold, within 24 hours we got responses. We started getting responses from some of the best minds in the world. And they said, you guys are doing great work. But we had no idea that there was an organization like MART doing such work. And then Vijay Govindarajan, who is now rated as the global number 3 management thinker, he was so excited, getting mails from us, that when he came to India the next time, he came and visited our office, and we made a presentation to him on the work we are doing. And when he was leaving, we asked him to sign our visitor's book, and all he wrote was, "You are doing God's work." If you have a higher purpose, profits will always follow. Right? Profit is a derivative of your purpose. So the purpose at MART has always been to improve the quality of life of the poor. And whatever we do, that is central to us. MART has reached a critical mass. Yeah? And I believe that the next 20 years, if we continue to remain grounded and work by ethics and our principles, because those are non-negotiables for MART. In terms of knowledge, we are really on a trajectory. So my own feeling is that 20 years from now, we should be a mini McKinsey. Globally, we can be.